Welcome back, everybody, to the last round of the tournament. We have Weddell Island for our first game in the series. Mr. Steele, yes, I'm definitely joined by Steele. Shut up, Siri. It's not you. All right, Spib, please introduce our first player.
All right, well, starting down here on the bottom side, spawning in is the red Serpent.
Favoritism.
Commander. It's Iron Commander. And who's our second favorite character on the other side?
Well, I'm surprised you didn't take orange. It is our orange UEF commander.
See, I'm trying not to
Polarbearz.
show any favoritism at all. I didn't go for orange. I didn't go for iron before. Come on.
Well, now there's no way you couldn't have done favoritism. Not done favoritism.
Exactly. You put me between a rock and a hard place.
Get wrecked. All right, but the real question, Spiff, is why do you sound like a character from Skyrim?
I sound like a character from Skyrim because I am a character from Skyrim.
There we go. You have your answers, ladies and gents.
Yep.
Mr. Spiff doubles as a voice. What is it called? Voiceover?
Voice actor.
Well, voiceover. Yeah, voiceover actor.
I used to be a voice actor, but then I took an arrow in the throat.
Well, damn. Actually, I don't know Skyrim. That story. That's probably a spoiler, isn't it?
Yeah, major spoiler, actually.
Shit. Damn it. Well, I guess after 10 years, I can't really complain, can I?
No, you should have played it by now.
Yeah, I should have. What is it? After 2 years, it becomes null and void? You can't spoiler alert something?
I don't know. You know, studies have shown that spoilers don't really decrease your enjoyment of whatever the thing is anyways. So.
Is there an actual study about that?
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Yeah, you enjoy it if it's a good story, and it doesn't matter if it's been spoiled for you, because you know what? It's the journey and not the destination. It's wisdom.
God damn it, Spiff. Every fucking time. Ah, man.
Well, Polarbearz showing some wisdom here by producing wasps, and...
Another great transition! What does he even need me for? Like, why am I here?
Well, who else is here? Someone just joined the Discord.
Did they? No, they didn't.
I think I see a Mr. Stelia girl.
Oh, fake news.
Fucking lie. I'm not here.
Oh my god, he is a robot again.
You're a fucking robot again.
Your mic is staticking all over.
It's not my mic, dude. My mic is an SM7B.
Well, it's your internet then, girl.
It only happens when I'm with you, dude. It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, maybe it's your internet. You ever think of that?
But anyway, Spiff, what's going on in the game?
Not much at the moment. Both players just massing up air. Polarbearz a little bit ahead in that eco.
Iron Commander is actually moving his commander to the water. Are we going to see freaking destroyers coming out?
Probably.
Oh
not,
man,
right?
Both players are going towards the water. Very interesting. And man, I streamed a game here, and you watched this game, Spiff. Of me versus Soul Ripper playing UEF versus Serpent. Oh my goodness, that was a wreck. That was a mess. It wasn't a wreck, I wouldn't say, but my subs just would not do anything.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Alright, Polarbearz doesn't get a whole lot of information. He doesn't see the... Oh, did you see what Iron did there? He did a very nice cancel on the naval factory. But Polar might have seen... Do you see scouting information when your plane lands in water?
Some.
But you don't see sonar, obviously, right? I think that's how that works.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, I don't think Polar is aware of this naval factory coming up.
I mean, he probably assumes.
Polar likes to play this map. It's very interesting. Would you say that this is favored for UEF?
I don't know. Hard to say, because the fact that it's so water centric might, I don't know, because like UEF almost has to go boats, so
Yeah.
it makes it predictable. Like, yes, UEF has the best navy generally and can usually beat Cybran, but the fact that on this map there's just not really the option to go land, UEF almost has to go navy. The Cybran gets an advantage just in information because of the fact that UEF has limited options there. It's either going to be sea or air. I guess that cuts the other way too, though, but...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if going naval is the best for Cybran, but again, we have to go back to the game I played with Soul Ripper. Yeah, I don't know. We seen some very interesting games. I mean, I cast Iron Commander versus Polarbear on this very map. Of course, that was very different. First of all, Iron was Aeon on the map, and we saw Space Temple come out. But yeah, I think this is more of a standard build, obviously. So, you know, it might not be a bad idea. Those destroyers are going to start doing work, though. So we're going to have to see how well Iron micros his naval. Don't remember who's better. Destroyer, yeah, probably the Salem class is better than the Mastodon, just because of the health and probably more direct fire. It looks like it outranges it, too. Wow, does a Mastodon really... Or sorry, does a Salem really outrange a Mastodon?
For the surface guns, yes.
Huh.
Pretty sure.
Man, I really need to educate myself in naval because we're seeing more and more of it, especially on these water maps.
Because the cruisers are not really meant to destroy boats. That's not what they're for.
That was the dumbest thing I've ever said. Did you catch it?
No, you're gonna have to repeat it.
We're seeing more and more Navy, especially on water maps.
Oh my god. I heard the more and more Navy part, and then that last little bit for some reason just whoosh.
Guys, we made it 6 rounds in on 2.5 hours of sleep. I think that's pretty damn impressive. Come on. Eventually, I'm going to develop some kind of dementia.
What do you mean eventually?
You know, going on no sleep. Anyway, we do see Mastodons circling around the island there.
It's a nice move.
It's a nice move, especially because I think Polarbear anticipates that he has an upper hand on the air. Oh no, he's gonna... there's no radar coverage here, is there? Okay, Iron pulls it back. That could have been very nasty because the planes slow down a bit once they're going up the cliff. So there could have been just an absolutely nasty situation where Polar just gets a really good engagement. And it looks
fortunately for Iron, he managed to pull back just in time, I think.
And it looks like that engineer is going to go back there and start prepping an anti-air tower, which is what I was hoping he would do. So great awareness by Iron Commander. Fortunately, he's starting to get outspammed by submarines now, which I'm going to say, I don't know. They didn't work for me against the Salems, but we'll see. Especially if Iron starts producing battleships. I don't know.
I find that submarines are very difficult to micro.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they kind of have a mind of their own in terms of how they get to the point where you've told them to move to. And also the way they bunch up, it's hard to get them all firing at once. So that's the downside, I think, that UEF has on this map is, you know, once the Cybran gets set up in that little bay area there, it's hard to break that. They get shields on their factories, they get torpedo tubes on their factories, and they can just sit their destroyers right in their factory group there, and it's really hard to micro the submarines to effectively break that.
That is a lot of air from Polar. I don't think... Yeah, this might be the beginning of the end for Iron Commander here. He's effectively going to have to forfeit this back expansion There's just not enough air to do anything. You know, I would almost just sacrifice that air to kill those 2 destroyers if he can, because this is... Unless he gets adapters, but I don't think that's anywhere near a possibility.
I don't even. He doesn't even have a land factory right now.
No, he doesn't. And
build them.
I imagine his research is going into naval. Oh, legs. Yep, legs are gonna... Well, that could work. Again, he's gonna lose a lot here. Just sending 1 destroyer, though, that's not... Oh.
That's probably all he needs.
He's getting outspammed in every regard here.
These factories, at least the ones in the front, do have shields on them.
Well, a lot of subs are starting to fall. 2 fall in there. Oh, no, but there's 2 destroyers that fell. No. Are those cyber destroyers? Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, man. Rough city.
And this destroyer that he sent back to deal with the cruisers has stopped.
Yeah. Very uncharacteristic of Iron. To stop controlling his units like that. But I guess he is microing a lot there in the center. You know, I think what bit me in the foot in that game was having too many destroyers. Because look, now these submarines aren't being fired upon. I had destroyers in the mix, which Polarbear had 1 destroyer as well, and that drew ground fire from the sailors.
You mean cruisers?
Or yeah, cruisers. Sorry, why did they have to do that? But yeah, cruisers, and that drew fire, and apparently it does splash damage against underwater units, which I guess makes sense. Yeah, this looks very rough for Iron here. Oh man, Iron is still not moving that Salem, come on! So many naval factories coming out.
It's a ridiculous number. Is there, like, did he go mass conversion and I missed it?
No, he just has a ridiculous economy. This isn't that surprising. You can get a ridiculous number of factories on this many mass extractors. What is he doing? He is microing that Salem in the back, but it's just... I mean, it's just there.
Why isn't he chasing those? Well, he's calling GG now, so...
Yeah, I mean, he got outspammed everywhere. Air and Navy. Good game! And 1-0 for Polarbear. We're going to go to Game 2 on Open Palms. It should be a good one, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to perhaps what could potentially be the most special game of this tournament. It is Open Palms. It is Blast from the Past. It is Polarbearz versus Iron Commanders. And I know I already said who's playing the game, but we already knew that from the first game. But nevertheless, Biff, please introduce our players.
Alright, well, starting down here on the bottom side, spawning in as the orange UEF commander, we have Polarbearz. And he dropped down a quick air factory and then followed that up with a land factory. Pretty standard type of build on this map. What's Iron Commander doing on the other side there?
On the other side, Iron is starting as his blue Cybern Commander, and he's throwing down his triple land factory opening, which is very, very standard for him. And I do anticipate him to see this air and then pause it to do that build that I mentioned a couple of replays ago, where he ecos a little bit and then builds up his ground forces. So we'll see.
This is actually this is looking a lot like a build that I learned from Polarbear. I don't know if Polarbear invented the build, but very similar to the build that it was actually a pre-patch build that looked very similar to this.
For UEF?
For Cybern.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Iron's build is very reminiscent of an old Polarbear build. That's still quite strong in the new patch.
Who knows if it was a Polar or an Iron build. Iron technically predates Polar, I think.
In terms of the competitive community, yes. But yeah, I don't know who came up with the build. I just know I learned it from Polar, from watching Polar.
All right, well, the first bomber is out. It looks like Iron is not going to pause his production. He's going to press on with Loyalists. I don't know about this. They're going to slowly die to bombers that are now making their way out. And it looks like Iron Commander is going to push. This is another thing he does. He does like to do this as well. Just push down the center.
Can be a pretty strong move here, depending on where you end up stopping.
Absolutely. There needs to be some type of anti-air coming down here pretty soon, and I'm not sure if he has enough mass for it. But knowing Iron, he's probably grabbed that opening mass reduction, build cost, build time. Although I have no idea what's happening. Well, he does have the Loyalist advantage here, so let's see the splits. This might be a draw.
Could very well be. A lot of those Loyalists just focusing on the commander right now.
Well, some tanks are going down, but he can't press as the Polarbearz reinforcements do arrive. Anti-air tower does end up going down, and it looks like it was one Loyalist for one, or no, 2 Loyalists for 2 tanks. That's pretty good for the Cybran. Now the main force from Polarbearz is engaging. It looks like there was just a scout. Unfortunately for Iron, he didn't time his side poke quite well, so those 2 Loyalists aren't going to get a whole lot done. And it's sort of reset, I think. And now we're in that awkward situation where there isn't a whole lot of anti-air for Iron. So he can't really push here.
He could factory creep, or AA creep, if he has the mass for it.
There's more UEF players because players are actually choosing UEF, not necessarily because the map pool is favoring UEF. Actually, by last season's standings or statistics, this doesn't very well favor UEF. The only exception is Weddell Island, where I do think that UEF is obviously better. But the only reason why we have that is because players are actually falling into that. And you know, Jwix and Polarbear and GP Smith have always played as UEF, as we do have another engagement here in the center. Pretty dangerous from Iron Commander, I want to say, with his commander being so low here. Oh no, clumping his units as that bombing run is coming in.
That doesn't lose too much though.
Yeah. Trading fairly equally, I would say.
Scores are still very close.
Yeah, and Iron Commander is starting to expand, so this is starting to look better and better for Iron. He just has to be careful not to miss micro here with his commander. Yeah, both
if
players.
He can manage to not lose until his production really gets ramped up here, he'll be all right.
Yeah, Polar miss microing his air.
He's only got these 3 land factories. He hasn't built any more factories.
Now, there we go. There's your answer, Spiff. On the right hand side, 4 factories get queued up. This is more typical Iron play. You know, he's not as sharp today, I would say, as he normally is, but definitely still very, very strong, especially on open palms, especially there. And you know, this is, you know, I might have called the tournament a little too early, but I think it was actually correct the first time Polarbearz did win this tournament at round 5. But you know, this is you can't say much about a prestige game because it is open palms. It is that classic map. So I'm sure Iron is doing his best here to try and win, and it's looking good for him. There is a 4 land factory now for Polarbear, and I would be careful about, again, he's setting up that base in the center there with no adapters. It's gonna be rough.
He can't be far off from adapters at this point though.
Yeah, but you know, Iron just he loves to go ground spam, but actually if he even does go adapters, he doesn't mix a whole lot of them. That engineer is gonna die. A little bit of a miss micro. Oh nope, just kidding. No, should die to Brackman fire.
Barely manages to not die.
Yeah, Polar just continues to lose air, and he's stopped his production actually on it. P-shields are coming out, but unfortunately it's an awkward timing, especially given the situation on the map where Polarbear is just down not only production but mass. So you know, it might buy him some time, and if Iron just makes a completely botches up an engagement here, might be good for him, but the longer this game goes, I think Polar is going to start getting into trouble here.
Yeah, he really needs to find some space to expand here.
Ground fire from Iron, pretty good. Focusing down Polarbear's commander here. Polar is out of position here as Brackman fire connects with a little bit of that army. Unfortunately, just taking out a tank there. But Polarbear does bite a lot of damage on his ACU with not really much that his army did. So a little bit of a miss micro from Polarbear. Oh, this is a bad engagement for Iron now, though. Could have been much worse there, as the main army from Polar wasn't really in engaging range there. Continues to be very ballsy here. Man, if it was me. Yeah, I don't know how Iron Commander just like has his army live. My army would have died like 5 times already. It's absolutely incredible.
I think partly that's due to the fact that we haven't seen any demolishers from Polarbear.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that changes a whole lot. And I think, I mean, Iron, I think, is compensating for that. I don't think he would be pushing into demolishers. Especially when he's in the choke point like that, which is really awkward to see just demolish or Brackman fire, like engaging there. I'm not sure why he's sticking around in that choke point for so long. Probably to buy himself time. He knows he has a radar somewhere, I'm guessing. It's kind of far back, but he does see that there's no expansions.
It's just because he can. It's because there's no demolishers there to punish him, so he might as well.
Yeah, and he can back up to his shields and just blast the choke point with his Brackman, so the shields are going down pretty quickly, so that's just exactly what I said, is just not enough shields. Brackman fire completely massacring half of that army, and Iron is going to be on the prowl here, taking that to his advantage to try and pick up some factories here, and if that happens, that's going to be the start of the end. Yeah, Polarbear is just engaging. I think this is just a YOLO moment. Yep. Iron Commander manages to win the Prestige game without much of consequences in the tournament standing, as the Megalith was getting plopped down. And yeah, 1-1, a Polarbear and Iron Commander. And I guess since this is the last game, and we know the outcome, we can very quickly summarize the tournament and do a little bit of an outro. Again, thank you to all the viewers for watching and participating in the chat and on YouTube as well. This is going to eventually go on there probably a month later, like I usually do. It's just because there's been so many replays. Thank you to my boy Spiff, as always. You've been a great caster. I've enjoyed casting with you. And
Much
thank
fun.
you. Yeah, and thank you to Polarbearz. Thank you to all the players for playing in this tournament, even though a lot of you dropped out, which I hope does not become the trend, because I don't want to ban a bunch of people. And lastly, congratulations to Polarbearz for taking that first spot. Very solidly played. And good luck to everybody in the last tournament for the winter. That's going to be coming out in March. It's going to be around, I think, March 20th or 23rd, whatever the Saturday is, around the 20th. That's going to be the last qualifier for the season final, which is going to be coming your way in March. We're going to have some more 2v2 goodness, some 1v1 goodness, and an epic final, I'm sure, awaits us. Once again, thank you, Spiff, for joining me. I will let you say goodbye, and then we will sign off for today.
All right, goodbye, and then we will sign off for today.
There we go. All right, everybody, take care and see you next time. If you're still watching, give a thumbs up to this video. If you liked the video, leave a comment. If you loved the video, please subscribe. And if you are blown away by it, check out my Patreon page. This has been Nite. Take care and peace out.